Okay, here we go. We're starting the recording for the lecture for Design 300. Oh, let me get that right. There. That's really interesting. Lecture for Design 300. It's Tuesday, November 17th, and we are recording. What we're going to be going over is new material for our wood species. Wow, this is not. I'm going to try that again and see if I can get that to show up right. For our wood research project, I have posted already a video of sort of a description of the helpful resources for this section. So I'm going to let you watch that video. It's about 10 minutes long as part of your research, and that'll kind of help you know what's in there. Okay, but a few things to note. This is due in 2 weeks. I know that's the weekend after Thanksgiving, but you'll have plenty of time to do this. It's Wood Research Species Report, and the idea that you don't get to pick any kind of wood that you want. It's one that's commonly used for construction, wall framing joists, rafters. It's not meant for finished wood surfaces for flooring, cabinets, stairways, or banisters. Okay, so there's only a few that you can choose. However, if you are a landscape student, you may want to do a different one that's used more commonly for landscape, and you can specifically choose one that's used for decking, the surface of decking. And no, PEX is not a wood, so you don't get to use that. This is about a wood species. Okay? And I'd like you to do decking rather than fencing or overheads. They're all, perfectly interesting and perfectly good, but I'd like a focus on decking if you're in landscaping. So that's more like a redwood probably. So, these are the things: a Doug fir, a hemlock fir, or a larch. Those are the three that are most commonly used for framing and the like. And what you're going to present is a summary of the wood's characteristics. Okay, and so by now you're sort of getting the hang of it. You've done 6.1, you've done 7.1. Tell us about the wood. Is it hard? Is it soft? Does it have a fine grain? Does it have a close grain? Or is it prone to knots? Can you get long segments of it? Is it used for framing, for joists, for rafters? Does it need treatment? Things like that. Just a nice little summary. Then we'd like to also know where it's grown. What's the environment like? How much of it is grown? Is it a really common wood or not? What are the mechanical properties? Now, these mechanical properties, you might want to put those up in the summary and then expound on them more down here or not. How you do these is up to you. You can go, subject by subject, or you can sort of wrap them together a little bit. What are the benefits of use? What are the drawbacks of use? And is there a master format spec available? All right, so let's take a look and see what some of these things that I've given you are. Now, this is only a small amount of the research that you might do, but it takes a little bit of getting used to. If you want to use these as good, I would also get some more in there. I do not have Wikipedia in here. I don't have some of the other sources that might be available. But what I want to do is show you how I'll use these and a Jamboard. So I'm going to put these side by side. I'm using my little window button, right arrow, window button, left arrow. Now they're side by side. And I can open one of these up. And I'm going to just demonstrate, not in a super fancy way. I did the wrong thing there. How this works. So I'm going to preview this. So I see there's Doug fir. Oh, it's a large tree, 85 meters. So that's times three. Wow, that's about 240 feet tall. That's big. Wow, they can really. Okay, due to its strength. Okay, well, there's a nice little thing right there, and I don't have a good PDF reader going on. I'd better download this. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna have to download it and open it up to get that to work. So there we go. And that might be part of my summary. So I can Control C, copy, and look, there's this little sticky notepad thing. And I can put it right in there. And I can make the stuff that belongs to my summary yellow. That's interesting. That should say Douglas fir. It's a large tree reaching 85 meters. So some of that is about size. Some is about what it's used for. And look, it only gives me some of this. So there's a limit to what I can put in here. But my yellow is stuff I'm going to use for a summary. So that's kind of cool. Now, where it grows. British Columbia, coastal and interior, mainland, across Vancouver Island, throughout pure even-age stands, usually after wildfires. Did you know? So this tells me something about mixed species. So this is about where it grows. So I can make another one of these, and maybe I'll make the where it grows green. Southern mainland and across Vancouver Island, except for the very north. Okay, so green is the kind of where it grows and the climate stuff. Let's see if it says anything about the climate. This one doesn't really have too much about the climate. Identifiable. Oh, here's applications and uses. Ooh, due to its strength. Hard and okay, so this is this has a lot of stuff. Okay, so this is about its characteristics. So I'm going to make this stuff part of the yellow again. See how I can kind of use this. Okay, so remember how I showed you that you can make these notes and then put them all over somewhere and color code them. Well, now I'm doing my color coding as I go, and I'm using something called the Jamboard. To get to the Jamboard, you probably have to load it, but mine is loaded. It's just one of the Google things. So if you need to, you can go get it out of Google Workspace, Google Drive, and get something called the Jamboard. And then you can do this too. All right, so I just wanted to show you that there's a way to take notes and to be able to do cool stuff. Okay, so there we go. That's really what the lecture is about. I've shown you where all these are found. let's talk about these lumber design values a little bit in just a moment. But I really wanted to show you how you can take notes using the Jamboard, and then they're there for you. And of course, then I can take parts of it and copy and paste that. But by color coding it, I can know which ones of these I'm talking about. Is it a summary? Green is where it's grown. This is actually probably a benefit and what it's used for. Okay, high strength. So I can redo that again down here. Okay, let's talk about some of the numbers now really quickly. So I'm going to open up this thing called the design values, and we're going to look at those. Okay, so design values are things that we know about the wood that's very consistent within a species. And they're values that designers use to make sure that it is safe. Safe, 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 safe. And some of those design values are what are called mechanical properties. Those are properties that we can test mechanically over and over and over again and know that it's going to work. And they're sort of, they have to do with forces and stress and failure. Now, forces are physical things that we apply to wood. We can, if it's a joist and we're walking across a long span, it's a bending load because I'm trying to bend it and things like that. So there's fiber stress in bending, tension parallel to the grain, horizontal shear, compression parallel, and compression perpendicular. And then this modulus of elasticity is sometimes used. And so this is the description. Structural members bend. They do. They bend. Producing tension, stress in the fibers. Farthest from where the load is applied. And that's called the extreme fiber stress. And we know that that's where it's going to crack and break first. So that's where we want to make sure that as we calculate that stress, which we can do, engineers and designers can do that, that we choose wood that is stronger than what we're going to apply. So this extreme bending stress number that we read in the chart has to be bigger than what we have calculated is going to happen in real life. And so that's what these ones are. And I'd like you to read these. And then if you have questions, you come and ask me. How are you going to ask me? Well, I'm glad we've asked that question. Here, and I'm going to put this on here really quick. Appointment schedule for office hours and questions. And so you're welcome to just make an appointment with me for about 20 minutes. Whoops, that didn't work. Why did that not work? Copy the link. That worked. Wow, there is something really wrong with my system today. All sorts of problems. So you'll come over here and you'll find an empty spot. If it's An orange spot, it means I'm helping students in a lab, but you can put your name down and I will help you after I'm done with my lab students. And you can just put your name or your W number and what class you're in. And then you go to the Google Meet and I'll answer your questions. And you can share your screen or you can chat or we can talk. And I ask that you kind of log in or put your name on here about an hour in advance because I have a lot of meetings that I'm invited to that I will attend if I don't have somebody already set up. So you'll need to get on and put your name down about an hour in advance or more. Here's somebody who went well in advance, signed up for 2 as a matter of fact. And then just go to the Google Meet and I'll get with you. How does that sound? And you can ask me about all sorts of things. You can ask me about things in this class, things in AutoCAD class, things about what you might take next semester, things about how do I get a job? What do people do in this field? I'm here to answer questions for you, and so you can just ask. But we need now at this point we'll just need some organization more. So just sign up and away you go. Okay? So there we go. We've talked about where to get the information. We've talked about how you can use a Jamboard to animate. I think I took my Jamboard down. Not to animate, to annotate. And away you go. So I'll look forward to seeing this. We have today, Thursday, and Tuesday for lectures. And then it's due the Sunday after that. So let's take a look here. If we look on the 22nd, that one's a pre-check. And then the following week has Thanksgiving. Right here, there will be nothing due here. That's 26th and 27th. So it will be due for real on the 29th. So we will have a chance to do 8.3 on the 24th. We'll do 8.2 on the 19th. And we just did 8.1. Okay? So there you go. That's our lecture for the day.